Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where the orchard of wisdom shows are at your fingertips. It ignites your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your body with illumination from people who have made the journey before you. They're here now to help you on your journey, on your path of self-discovery. We are funded by you, the audience, and the people we interview. If you wish to support us, please go to selfdiscoverymedia.com and press on our Fund Action button. Anything is appreciated. We'd like you to sit back and enjoy the shows. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Positive Vibrations Roundtable right here at selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and today I have two awesome ladies. A Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast. It's a safe place to lift your mind. That's the name of their podcast. It's Ruby Doll and Kai Storm. We got some very honest, down-to-earth talk with you today about everything, about God, about motherhood, about sex, about marijuana, about race, about life in general, because life isn't just lived on one linear platform. It's a beautiful smorgasbord of wonderful experiences, of wonderful cultures, wonderful diversities. So what do we have in common? Because they're parents as well. They go through all the lovely ups and downs that children are going to put us through. And let's hear it from their perspective here today. They are going to be smoking their marijuana, folks. I should be joining them in with the scotch, right? And I just ask you to be open-minded, because what you're going to be hearing today is maybe told in a different way, but there's some common denominators right here that we all have in our lives, and that's important to have. So let's have a juicy conversation about it all. Where did Ruby go?
Ruby. Well, I'm pretty sure that
bear with me.
she's
I'm
probably
just
dealing
looking
with
for
some
my
phone call
lighter.
and stuff like that. But
yeah,
but
just
she's
bear
right
with
here.
me. I'm here. I'm just looking for my lighter. I'll be right back, ladies.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, ladies. I mean, I'm looking forward to this conversation. As I said, this week I have very, very diverse shows out there. And, that is what I love about life, is that if we were all, one this, one that, God, life wouldn't be worth living. And life is about diversity. It is about different perspectives, but it's also about our commonalities. What do we have in common? And you are parents, you are mothers, and we all go through, my gray hairs have got my children's name on it. They're in their 30s, but believe me, it doesn't matter where they come from, what race they are, or anything else. My children are half Chinese. Every kid is going to, test you along the way and surprise you and shock you and sometimes enlighten you. But most certainly they're going to make life interesting along the way there. So Kai, how about you start off with a little bit about you, and just let it go, girl.
Well, true. I'm half of Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana, Kai Storm in the building. That's one of the main things I usually say when we introduce our show. We introduce our show, Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana in the motherfucking building. I'm hoping we can curse on the show, but if not, bleep.
That's why the disclaimer was out there. If you're offended, just let it go. Let it go. It's about the content,
honey. But anyway, yes, I am a mother of three daughters. 24, 12, and 6. The range is big, and I am thankful for it. I say things happen for a reason, and the spread in my children is because I need help. You know what I mean? As a mother, you need help. And yes, you say to yourself, okay, when you first have the first one, you say, oh, I don't want to have another one. But best believe if you have another one, you train that other one to help you with that one.
Yes.
And that's how it was with me when I grew up. When I grew up, I helped my mom with my little sister. So it was something that was automatically in me. So me having 3 kids in a big spread like that is just it's part of my life, and I'm glad for it.
Automatic support.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when I met Ruby, honestly, Ruby will tell you that I'm the kind of person that you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta approach the right way. And when she approached me, it took her a minute to actually get me to get her attention. But we became friends after it, and that's how we created this show. And thank goodness that this day we got 141 subscribers, and we keep it moving.
Right.
We keep it moving because we believe in this space. We have women, we have spoken to women all around the world that literally agree, just like agree with the theme that we are given, which is, yes, we love this right here. Mm-hmm. Yes, we take care of our children. Mm-hmm. And yes, we obviously had sex plenty of it.
Really? Was it
in order to have them? Oh no, they ain't just show up at the door, because if they would have got the door would have got left. I wouldn't have opened the door, but no, because there was work in there. You
yes,
you feed them, and what I mean, when they don't act right, you let them know. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most certainly. Ruby, my darling, tell me about your kids.
Oh man, okay, I'm gonna start with this. Today was one of the hardest days in my role as a mom, I must say. It's so funny that we're talking about this, right? But as Kai knows, I let it out there.
Oh,
yeah. I was so devastated today because of something that transpired between my eldest son and I. It's forgivable, yes, but we do need a conversation. Mm-hmm. And so that's what parenting is. It's like, you never know what you're going to get. I quote one of the famous lines in Forrest Gump. You just never know what you're going to get, because it's like a box of chocolates. Mm-hmm. And I have 6 children. I've been blessed with 6 children in my home. And I also have 2 daughters who I didn't have biologically, but those are my daughters, and they live in California. We have a huge blended family. Mm-hmm. I was born into a blended family dynamic. And so I'm not surprised that I ended up. And that's after being in a relationship with a woman for 4 years as well. There's lots of layers here, mm-hmm. As with all of us, I love being a mother. I don't use the term lightly. It's excruciating at times. It's frightening.
Yes.
I've seen the ugliest Ruby that I've ever seen, and I've seen the most beautiful Ruby transpire out of these relationships. They do humble me. They do drive me mad, but that's the love, that we all, this is what we've signed up for. So I'm so grateful to talk about more shit with y'all. And Sarah, thank you. Thank you for this. What a great platform. I listened to a couple of your podcasts, very impressed by what goes on here. And thank you for allowing us. And I love my girl, Kai. I ride with Kai. And going back to when we first met, we met at a party. I was enamored with her, and I like women. So it wasn't the same thing, although my girl's gorgeous. It was, I had this like automatic respect. I was like, oh, I need her number. I need to get to know she's about something. That's what I said. The energy. And I was over there looking thirsty, trying to spit my game. I think I even invited her to lunch, and then some things transpired in my life at the moment where I just, couldn't focus on anything but that. But when we reunited again, and shout out to our other friends that were involved at the time, Riona and some other gals, we started off with like a nice group, maybe about like 5 or 7 women that wanted to take part in this Motherhood, Sex, Marijuana podcast. And we were the last standing. And I think that if I were to think of anyone that embodies motherhood, sex, marijuana, it's Kai and I.
Yeah. The thing about motherhood that people don't realize is, there's no manual. It doesn't matter if there's, Dr. Seuss or whatever it is that people have. Each child is going to be different. Each situation that they're born into at a different time period is different. There's different dynamics with your wherever your partner is at the time, and each child has a different personality. So there is no cookie cutter. There is not. It does get easier in the sense that yes, I've done this before. I know what to expect, but they're always going to bring up the unexpected. And my kids, I love them to death. They're 33, 37, 39, but every single one of them has, I would say not for the younger. She was wise enough to watch the other two and decide not to go down the path, right? But the other two definitely have caused me some sleepless nights, some heartache, some pain, some anguish. My son and I were both alphas. We're both very passionate, and we're both actually believe in the same thing, but we come at it from a different point of view. And at one point, I had to kick him out of the house to go and live with his father, because I was divorcing his father because of his father's behavior, and he was becoming his father. And I said, no, you go live with your father, see how you two bring that on each other. And there was another time that he went down a path that I could not agree with, because it would only end up in death, which it did for many of his friends. And he actually said to me that he was at a crossroads where he knew if he continued down that path, that where it would end up. And he saw my face and knew he couldn't do that to me. He couldn't do that to his family. He couldn't cause that kind of pain. And he changed direction, and he's a restaurant over now in a lovely relationship, and just totally stepped into his soul presence. But I think one of the hardest things in parenthood is knowing that sometimes you have to let go and let them take their own journey, and watch them make the mistakes, and know that at that time, all you can do is love them, but you can't do anything else. It's their journey. And it's very hard to stand back sometimes and just be the spectator. So Kai, how do you feel about that?
Let me tell you something. I have two things to say. One, as far as the journey, my journey has been at that, as far as the sleepless nights, they're more coming from the younger one, and more than the old. I mean, yes, there were some things that my oldest did that was just like, whoa, what, where did you come from with this? But you know what I mean? And as far as the so it's like the younger one is the one that's testing me. Like, for instance, right now, the younger one is in bed in trouble because she apparently she was acting up in the class. The teacher is texting me, and she's trying to grab the teacher's phone out of her hand.
Oh my God.
And at 6 years old, she don't understand that that's assault. That's a
Yes.
whole case.
Yes.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And I keep trying to reiterate to her that, listen, you cannot assault because this isn't that's the first time she's done it. She did it to the lunch lady too. And I'm just like, lady, you can't assault you can't assault grown people, because grown people can pick you up and snatch you and throw you somewhere. But they're not doing that. Why? Because they want to keep their job. They are not of the people that pick up and throw children. So instead of doing that, they're calling me. And now I have to figure out how to explain to you that this is assault. Please don't do this.
Yes.
Yes. You know what I mean?
I know.
And this is what I'm getting from the 6-year-old.
Right. And consequences, I always taught my children, these are the boundaries. These are the boundaries. You overstep those boundaries, you've got to be willing to pay the price.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then as far as, letting the child, have their way, my oldest, she's 24. She does as she wants because she's grown. She don't live with me. She does what she wants. She got into a situation with her boyfriend. And when she called me, the way she spoke, it literally mirrored a conversation I had with my mother years ago. Like, literally, I heard myself. It
always comes back.
I heard myself as she was talking. I heard myself saying the exact same thing. So it literally, in that moment, instead of responding like how my mother did, because my mother really didn't respond in the correct way, I responded in the way of, listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you whatever decision you make about this going forward. Whatever you make, whatever you want to do, I'm with you. I'm not sitting here in some high seat on judgment. just looking down on you,
Mhm.
passing, all kinds of words. Because I've been there. I'm
Yes.
listening to you. I hear me. So I'm not gonna do what was done to me. I'm going to do different. This
Yeah.
is what we're gonna do. You make a decision, and whatever it is, good, bad, and different, I got your back.
That
That's
I'm
just
glad you said that. The key point is we can disagree with them. We can say, I don't even like who you are right now, but that it never changes how much I love you. Love
Never
should
that.
never be a
Never
punishment.
fucking that.
Love is your love for them. They may not like what they're doing or like who they're with or like this and that. Like is totally different to your love for them. And the only way they're
Because
going to get through or come back is knowing that love is true.
Because I brought you in the world. I raised you because I love you, not
Yes,
because
you own
I
them.
want to be against you in any way, shape, or
Right.
form. So immediately, as soon as I heard her talking, I was just like, yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah.
And the conversation, you know what I mean, moving forward, it became a more, adequate,
Yes.
situation based on how I dealt with it.
Because you gave her the respect of listening without persecution, without condemnation. You can say after, I mean, I've said to my kids, that was an idiot move. That was an idiot move. But, what are we going to do about it now? What did you learn from it? Where are we going to go from here? Right? You can address the situation, but you gave her the respect of listening without immediately coming out with, I mean, this terminology, I brought you into the world, I can take you out. Excuse me? These children, we're custodians of these children. We don't own anybody. Nobody owns us. We don't own anybody else, but we are accountable for who we are and what we do and what our choices are. Right?
True.
But we've got to be an inspiration to our children. And that means they've also got to know the flaws. They've got to know the mistakes we've made. And they've got to understand that that's just being human. That's part of our own self-discovery. And that just because you're older doesn't mean you know everything. God, no, we don't know anything even when we're finished at the end of this lifetime. But it's fun learning. It's really fun learning. Ruby. Come on, Ruby. Share, my darling. Come on, you've had a difficult day. Share.
Well, my son, I inherited my first 4 children, the oldest one. So the age ranges are 18, the ages are 18, 16, 14, 13, 6, and 2. So we're going through every stage almost at the same time, it feels, right? And I had asked my children that certain people are not allowed in our home. It's not for any other reason other than they've showed me that they're not welcome here. Let's just say that. Okay, so
you have your boundary, and that's the border, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So let's just say that I turned into a monstrous beast because rather than heeding my counsel, my son decides to have this specific person in the back of my house. It's his quarters, but I don't give a fuck. This is my, and the reason why I was so hurt was because when I had addressed it, it was like as if I was the monster and I'm all of a sudden this horrible person. And this is this concept. Oh my gosh. And where did this concept come from? And I'm a bonus parent. So we know parenting is already a thankless job. You try raising a kid that is well aware that they have a mother and father. And I tell my kids this all the time, I said, baby, one thing you can bank off with me is that you have my love, my unconditional love forever, regardless of what you do. And of course they're not, it's going to go over their head. But one day they will realize that, probably when they get their own kids, God forbid.
Or that crossroads that they're at. When that love becomes that beacon.
Yeah. And I went crazy. I grabbed a brick and I said, if this person doesn't get the fuck out of my house, I am going to go nuts. And either the cop is going to drag your ass out or I am. You choose. I had to take it there because my son was being very disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I looked him in his face and I said, I'm going to deal with you later, because the hurt of his disobedience and his, I'm going to do what I want here.
Yeah.
No. And I'm not I'm not an irrational person. In fact, I'm probably one of the most understanding people that I know, I honestly. But there is also that area that once you cross that,
yes,
with this high trust environment,
mm-hmm.
then you were better off not even being up in this environment.
Mm-hmm.
And now I told his father, I said, I'm going to have to back all the way up now, because he's demonstrated that he doesn't respect my role in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his fault, not mine.
Yeah.
So God forgive me if I'm being whatever, but I'm going to stick to my guns on this one, because I'm a very reasonable person, as you both are. I already know. I don't have to know you, Sarah, to know that you're reasonable and you have common sense and that you have a heart and that you love and that you've experienced these same characteristics
mm-hmm.
that come with nurturing. You don't even have to have somebody. If you're in a nurturing position, you guys know very well it comes with all of this depth and all of this love, yes, and trust and expectation. I'll say it. Yes, there is some expectation, as much as you expect me to provide dinner.
Yes. Laundry and everything else.
Let me just say this, that because I come from the tough love of generation. I come from the, listen, let's break this down to finances. How much money do you pay in the bills?
Logic.
The room that you claim that you have, the clothes that you claim that you own, the shoes. Then, because in my house, yes, I break it down to even the nail polish. You know the nail polish that you're in your room playing with? No, let's talk about who purchases the nail polish. Oh, it is not you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's me. Oh, okay. So therefore, I am the one that is the only voice that is allowed to speak here. That I am the throat you need to be afraid of. Don't play with me.
Mm-hmm.
What? Everything you own, I provide. So if I take it away, what will you be?
Right.
Nothing? Oh. Check yourself. Check yourself. No, check yourself. And see, and one of the things I could say that my daughter has gained, because she is 24 and that's how she lives in her life. It's all about this. Like, no, if she is providing for something, she will tell you, yes, listen, this is my right. This is therefore this is the power. I have learned that this brings power. So when I had nothing, I had to do what that woman said, the crazy woman. Yes. I had to listen to her, but now I have this and I can do what I want. So therefore I get to talk back. Yes.
Mm. Yeah, I've always been in the counselor role. I'm a spiritual counselor by God's design. So I've been in that role since I was a child, just knowing what people needed to know when they needed to know it, even though I didn't understand what it was. And so my home was a big home, and where a lot of children came to because parents had kicked them out or they're having trouble at home. And they would come and stay with us for a while as safe haven. I also had after school. Anybody could come home over for tea, and how many people staying for dinner. And it was always that place that you could safely come and talk to me. It doesn't mean I'll agree, right? I've sat down with many a parent, tried the mediation. Some have listened. Some parents didn't even bother to turn up. And it's like, for me, it's always about money is money. It's what's provided for you. Okay. When you earn it, you can do what you like with it. While we're providing for you, it is what we're providing for you. But one thing I've always put an emphasis on, and that's because I definitely had a spouse that valued you in dollars, not as a person, is that your worth has got nothing to do with the dollar. You are a beautiful, valuable, abundant, enriched soul and heart and spirit. And it's in your actions. It's in your contribution. It's in your kindness, your caring and love of others. That's really the true currency, not the dollar, but the dollar If I'm spending it on you, you appreciate that it is being spent on you. You appreciate what you've got. You don't take it for granted. You don't toss it aside because it's the wrong color nail polish, right? Appreciation is something that you learn. Yeah, a whole new game.
I love that. And really, that's all I expect. Just appreciate it. And
you know what Ruby, I'm gonna give you a little advice though. All right. He's a guy, right? Men aren't very good listeners, but write to him. Write him a card, a note, a letter, write to him. In that, point out why you were upset. Point out why you felt betrayed by him because he went behind your back. Point out that, okay, this has happened once. You don't expect it to happen again. A simple apology will do good and we will move on. Let him digest it and then let him come to you. Let it be his idea to come to you with the apology. But you talk to a guy or a very strong female that's very alpha, and you start explaining or talking to them, they're shutting you down. They're immediately coming back out with the argument. But when you actually write something and you read it and you know, okay, I can take that out. No, that's a little, we don't want to meet anger with anger. But the reason why, and they read that, then it's like, oh, in my conscience, I didn't realize I was upsetting her that much. I didn't realize I was being so disrespectful, right? And then let them digest that. Let that be a lesson learned. And then once he said sorry, just diminish. That's it, right?
Thank you for that. Thank you. I hadn't considered that at all, and I will do that. I'll do anything that it takes that will be impactful. So nor do I want to beat a dead horse, right?
Right, exactly.
Because I think there's you have to create grace and space for yourself, and so I just don't recognize ever feeling that much anguish, and it scared me.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe your expectation level is too, is more than what's
raise the appreciation level. Right. Yeah. Raise that, right? Put that in. I'd like you to raise your appreciation level.
I like that. Yeah. I'm going to use that. Those are bars.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bars means it's
something you can reach for. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people think that gangs and violence is only in certain places, only happening to certain people. And they don't realize that violence in gangs is amongst every color, every culture, every level of society, right? And the scariest thing is when your kids get involved with something that could end up them being dead, them killing, them something. It's the most terrifying thing, right? And it's also the most powerless thing, because you feel at that point you're against the gang, which is like a camaraderie, a different home. There's a wonderful gentleman, Rob Shear, that I've interviewed. A quick brief story on him is that he's a gay guy who had I'll give you a story. His parents were drunk in the kitchen with 3 of the kids on the floor on their knees, and the parents are playing Russian roulette saying, who should we kill first, Ma? Right? That's what he was brought up in. Sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. When his parents died, he went into the foster system. He found yet something else different. And then later on, they started this comfort cases, which is bags for children in foster homes. And he ended up marrying somebody, but he went straight into an abusive relationship because that's all he had ever known was abuse, right? Went into the drugs, went into everything else, until finally he met that one person in his life that said to him, all the love you're giving to everyone else, how about giving it to yourself? And it's only when he turned around and gave it to himself that his life changed. Sometimes we just have to pray for that one person, because it's not us as a parent. Pray for that one person to come into our child's life, just to give them that poignant thing at that right time, which is going to change the path. But just also pray that they don't get involved with any of that lifestyle at any time, because it's devastating on so many levels.
Agreed.
Well, I guess I gotta say my response to that is, you gotta get your children prepared for anything and everything. You know what I mean? No matter, especially, you know what I mean? Especially if you have studied the environment you were raising them in, you know what I mean? I used to live in Seattle. I don't live in Seattle anymore. I live in New York now. But you know what I mean? Seattle has a a laid back kind of vibe, and you know what I mean. And but
I'm a
at the
West
same
Coaster,
time,
yeah.
things can kids can get involved in shit just like it could be in New York. You know what I mean? But the influences are everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The influences
Yeah.
are on TV, or they're on
Yes.
YouTube. They're on social
glorified.
media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's, you know what I mean? I myself had a situation, with my middle child and social media, you know what I mean, that I had to kind of shut down based on, what was going on social media. And it's like, you know what I mean? The influences are everywhere. You just, if anything, you just gotta, just prepare your child for anything and everything. And from the aspect, from the foundation of a parent that loves their children and definitely is taking care of their children, you paying attention. Yes, you understand that your life's, how you grew up is not exactly how they grew up, but very much so a lot of things that we go through in life are recycled. I say that all the time, that life is recycling itself. Life continuously recycles itself. The only difference is that now our kids got trackers in their pockets. And that's if you actually give them a cell phone, they got a tracker in their pocket. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they also got access to social media and all the influences on social media you could control or not control. It all depends. But you, at the end of the day, you as a parent that loves your child, especially in these C19 streets, you absolutely are preparing your child for everything and anything.
Yeah.
You're not having them walk out there just unprotected, because that you brought them in the world, so you most certainly going, protect them at all costs and be aware of anything and everything that they could get into.
But sometimes
and be ready to jump out and be like, yeah, I know that already. Don't think you doing something new, because you damn sure ain't doing nothing new.
Right. Yeah. And something sneak up on you that, that kids are very, very good at keeping things. Right.
And the world is just so vast.
Yes.
We couldn't protect them from all of those things, even if we tried.
Right.
I mean, and that's just the thing. And that's the grace and space that we have to give ourselves as parents. I've done some horrible things to my mom when I was much younger than these children over here. So it's like, I just feel like it's, again, no one knows, everything. We got some great advice on how to, and sometimes it's like, it's okay to humble yourself with your kids, if anything.
You're human, you're vulnerable.
Well, as as our offspring, they do deserve our grace and space. And I just think of, like, when I'm out there giving amazing customer service or serving, I don't know, I've done a lot of bad things that I really regret, and I've had to apologize for. When are we going to start talking about sex? Because I'm over this motherhood thing.
Well, sex is
like, let's stop talking about these children.
I'm done with these children.
Okay, all right, I'm going to bridge the gap. Sex and motherhood, right? Now, if you're a single mother and you're suddenly having relationships with other people, it can be quite a shock to your kid. Right. So, where's dad? Or now you've got a different partner there. And mummy's dressing sexy. And mama's having a good time. And a lot of kids look at it and go, no, mum shouldn't be having that. You're a mother. You shouldn't be having fun. You shouldn't be a sexual object. You shouldn't be somebody that has partners. You're a mother. And there is a definite divide there for some people. And it's like, it's I have a 91-year-old who's been on my show with her own TV station that took a lover at 89. Right. So if the libido is still there, the desire is still there, then who says that you should stop, right?
Your mouth works, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
With all due
listen.
respect, it's just a question that imposes a thought that answers a lot of other things.
I mean, listen, one of the benefits
Love
of
it.
smoking the marijuana is that you get to feeling really nice.
Yes.
And certain parts of get really wet.
Yes.
And then, you know, if you are with the right person, you know, things happen and things are
Might go
good.
down.
You know what I'm saying?
And if it's consensual and it's something you both enjoy, and I think it's good to be open with your kids that you are still a sexual being, that you're not going to be slutty about it. You're not going to throw it in their faces or make them feel insecure. But at the same time, you're still a woman. You're a mother, but you're a woman.
What is slutty though? What is slutty? Because at the
I think
end
if
of the
you
day,
brought
I feel
home
like
multiple partners, you know.
No, but think about it.
And even that.
Think about it, Sarah. Let's think about it, because we are living in 2022 C19 streets where there is a whole thing that is trying to keep society depressed by themselves, just quiet, chirp, just cover your face, and just put all this stuff that they create, they just created just now, put it in your system, and maybe it'll help. You know, it's just a whole lot of things going on. So if the one thing that makes you happy is sitting on 2 or 3 dicks a couple of times a week, let that be your business, yo. Nobody got the right to be calling anybody no whore, no
we don't slut shame,
no community.
I think it has to be your own boundary.
Pussy.
Your own boundary.
Like, because life is short.
It's also, I think, kind of the reflection, because kids mimic what their parents do. Right.
But at the end of the day, you can't even just say that they're mimicking that kind of behavior from their parents. They see it on TV.
Yep, they do.
There's whole TV
but they hold their parents up to a higher level.
I mean, again, there's whole TV shows. They have friends. They have all kinds of things going on YouTube. There's things on social media. There's influences everywhere. So you can never say that is the parent, whether it's the mom or the dad, or it's a mom and a mom, or a dad and a dad. You can't say that it's their sexual relationship is going to all of a sudden influence that child. That has that's a ridiculous.
If it's closeted or if it's not open. Again, respect the child and have a talk about it. Right?
Indeed.
The child, right? The conversation has to be
judged about.
Right. And I think it's just complex, right? Because I totally agree in the sentiment where this has been my conversation with my kids, because they do know that Mama Roo is quite sexual. But this is my thing. Number one, it's my business. And number two, you don't have to worry about me disrespecting you in any way. Now, that's a broad statement. Now, if I were to date somebody and I brought somebody here, and then I was, that didn't work out, and I just don't, it's just not my preference to introduce anybody that I'm dating, because I don't think the person's worthy yet to meet my kids.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's not like I'm shaming myself, because shit, like I don't care, but it's like, are you a person that my kids could be safe around?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Are you a good example for your kids? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's more of the conversation, whether, damn, how many numbers is it? Because, hey, we dating in these streets sometimes, and I am in a monogamish relationship, but this is my own journey, right? And I am very attractive to women as well, and I date women very openly. So there might be a time where I have to introduce somebody, to my kids, because my kids also work very hand in hand with, my business and everything. So if that person is, if I find that person is, and yeah, you know, we can, but I do agree with both of you. It's just so complex. It's not going to be black or white,
No.
you know?
I think it's also kind of an example of what age do we want our kids to start being sexually active? And are they doing it for their pleasure, you know, where they really are exploring their pleasure, or are they doing it out of peer pressure?
Right. I love that question because it's very realistic. We had a show about this. Ultimately, I'm just going to say that our sexuality is our own. Like, I have no control over whether my 6-year-old wants to masturbate. That's her body. Actually, we have had to talk about masturbation.
Yes, I heard that show.
Yes. And with my 14-year-old, we had a very recent conversation about sexual transmutation, because as she's developing all these, you know, these changes in her body, and she's trying to express it the best way that she can, I simplified it like, honey, you're just horny and you need to direct that energy somewhere else. I'm sorry to use that term, but it's like that sexual energy, we have to identify it.
Yeah.
You can't think that you're just going crazy and you can just act like a wild beast because you don't know what the hell's wrong with you. No, you're going through some immense changes. I love sexual transmutation because I use it myself. Mm-hmm. So does Ty. And I think we just do it without even thinking of it, right?
Yeah. And I think when they're at that stage, then obviously the education comes in of sexually transmitted disease, of obviously, do you want to get pregnant? You know, of taking the responsibility, right? You can go out and have sexual pleasure, but where's your responsibility? You know, a condom on that thing, right? And it's that you don't want babies, you don't want any sexually transmitted disease. You also to understand the power of no.
Right.
No, I don't want to have sex with you, or no, this has gone too far, or no, you're too rough, or no, that. And to make sure that that partner, whoever they're with, knows and respects that no.
Right.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely. Because of course, we've had this discussion in my household with the 13-year-old because of, you know, no, she's 12. What am I saying? But because again, she's in junior high school, you know what I mean, influences and whatnot. And the fact is, you gotta have honest conversations with your kids.
Yeah.
They gotta be real
honest,
real down to earth. And it can't be, you know what I mean? It can't be baby talk. Like again, we gotta keep it real, because
facts.
Don't think that, like, again, I try to tell don't think that whatever you're going through in your school, I didn't go through. Like I went through trying to, you know, be bad and talk to the teacher a little extra and be sarcastic to the teacher to impress your friends. I did that. So I know you doing that. So, you know what I mean? So again, let's have real conversation. And the last thing you want me to do is to find out through the grapevine, because again, I will find out through the grapevine. Like, we live in a YouTube society. Everything you do from the minute you leave your house, someone has videotaped you doing something. So the minute you did something wrong and think nobody saw you, oh, somebody saw you, they done got the tape and they're going to play it to me when it's time to, you know, snitch you out for the foolishness you was carrying on with. Like, I mean,
that's part of the educational conversation you got to have with them too. It doesn't matter about sex, about anything else. Is that assume a camera is on you. Don't do anything that you wouldn't want to see up on YouTube. And if you do, you've got to own it. And you've got to be responsible for it.
Yeah.
When my 24-year-old was 13 years old, she realized that because she kept telling me, they kept reporting me about, telling me that she had a boyfriend and she was sitting on his lap in class. She kept saying, no, that wasn't me. No. Then I get to the school and they roll the beautiful bean footage just like the commercial. They they rolled the beautiful bead footage. It was her and she's on his lap, and the teacher comes along, and then she gets up, and they're in the and I'm like, look, see, a whole video.
It doesn't lie.
You didn't know that
Own
the
it.
school
Own
cameras
it.
were?
Own it.
Oh, so you think that the school put cameras in the building just for fun?
Right.
Ain't nobody
Ain't for
watching
secret
those cameras.
keeping though. Like she could definitely keep a secret.
Mm. But I think that's also something with kids, and even with ourselves. We, like my choices in life as an adult, or my choices in life as an adult. When you get to be an adult, you can make those choices. In the meantime, you are navigating your life. I'm your custodian, so I'm here for you to be open with me on your life to make sure that you're steered in the right direction of safety, productivity, and everything else in life, right? So you can't be saying, this is my life, screw off, because you are still under the roof, you're still under the care, you're still under the guidance.
And
when
that's
you are 24 out there on your own, and even at 24, they called you today, right? They're still going to need some of that parental guidance or that support from mom along the line. It doesn't matter what age they are, but they at least are adult enough to know that they are owning their own choices, their own mistakes. While they're still at home and they're still learning, they're going to try and push the boundaries and explore everything. And
see what they can get away with.
I see what they can get away with. And the more comfortable they are with being able to have a candid talk with you, because you are open to having a candid talk with them, the more that they're going to push those boundaries, but listen to the sign in the head, that little voice in the head that says, don't go there.
Exactly. It's done me wonders. I'm sure it's done.
Trust me. Let me tell you something. I get told all the time, from even when my 24-year-old was in school all the way to now, when I get told that as soon as the teacher or whoever is in authority mentions, okay, I'm about to call your mother, that's when there's a meltdown. There's oh no, wait a minute.
You're more scared of you than they are the teacher.
No, hold on. I mean, that's why a whole 6-year-old grabbed at a teacher's phone today.
Yeah. No, my mother, anyone
she
but
grabbed
her.
at her phone because she said, no, the crazy woman is going to show up and it's going to be a problem. Yes.
Yeah.
This is why sometimes, but I get, you got to test your boundaries, but at the same time,
that's what their job is.
You got a whole force in the house that's going to really dig into your ass.
I mean, I'm way older than you girls. I'm 67, so I've been around a long time, and I've lived in a few countries, and I've been very exploratory myself in my life. But for my mother, who was very pearls and tweed and extremely innocent, when my dad died, we moved to South Africa, and my mum, she became a different woman. Suddenly, she's not expected to just do charity work and afternoon teas, and no longer can be invited to parties because she's single. Discovered singlehood and dating and just life of just a totally exuberant woman came out of it, which was wonderful. But it kind of left me behind at first. And I'm 14, coming from a very guarded, innocent, I was very sickly child, so spent many months of the year in bed, and very guarded, and then suddenly thrown into a society that I didn't know how to navigate at all. None. So I literally went from kind of basically insecure isolation, thrown out into a very outside world. And I made a lot of mistakes, and I fell down a lot of wells, and some of them were quite damaging, but I recovered from them. I learned from them, but I definitely pushed the limits with my mom. And as our kids have pushed the limits with us, and they're, consequently, as it will go on, because that's what it's all about. But that's our self-discovery. If we don't fall down and learn how to get back up, we're going to cripple ourselves for the whole life. We're going to land on our ass over and over again. We're going to make the wrong relationships. We're going to make the wrong decisions. We're going to do the wrong things in the wrong places. But how do we learn from it? And how do we place value upon ourselves? And how do we rise up like a beacon of light for others? And that's really what I consider life about.
Those are amazing questions. Very complex.
I love it. You've been open. It's like what you ladies have been. You're sharing, you're open, you're down to earth. You're saying it as you see it.
It's about growth. It's about growth on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Checking yourself when you're wrong. And you know what I'm saying? And congratulating yourself when you're right. You know what I mean? Giving yourself a pep talk when you know you need it. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Giving yourself a little token when, you know what I mean? When you know you need it. Like for me, getting my nails done is a token. It's like I get my nails done. I feel like Cardi B. I'll be like, let's do this. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So it's the little things. You know what I mean? You got to do that. You know, and at the same time, you do that with the kids too. Because just the other day, you know, when my child was doing well, I rewarded her for doing well. And so just like as soon as she's doing wrong, I'm right there to check that. Like, no. You know what I mean? Because when you're doing good, I'm gonna reward you. But when you're doing bad, you're gonna get checked. That's what it is. That's how life goes. That's
how they learn. You know that
to you.
These are your boundaries that you're showing them, but from that they learn their own. Right? They learn how to gauge their own boundaries. You know, I mean, I live with an 88-and-a-half-year-old who's stronger than I am. I mean, this is a woman who had polio. Fiance was killed 4 days before she got married. I mean, numerous things have happened. Her twin sister died just before she got the polio. She's been through it in life, but she's chosen to see the sunny side of the street and not dwell on the pain and the suffering. She's a black belt in judo. She's till this day stronger than I am. Right? Oh my, God, you don't take her on. She could toss somebody over her shoulder. No,
beat my ass.
And like, you know, the other day she's in a restaurant and somebody was talking about, oh, there's less people of color here in Victoria. And she got up from the table and she went over to them and gave them what for. Right? So she's, exactly. She calls it. And she's got this face on her. I'm sure when people see the face, that she's 4'11", they see this face, wrinkled little face, giving them that look. They just don't know what she's capable of.
You don't know how to react.
No, but she is capable of tossing them, right? But she is still listening to her mother's voice. Oh, my mom wouldn't like this. My mom wouldn't like that, right? Because somewhere along the line, she didn't grasp life for herself and go that mom didn't like that because mom had her own restrictions, her own fears. Where do you break away from that and go, okay, that's a compass. All right, that was there for a reason. But where do you actually stretch that and say, I don't know what I can do until I get up and try it. Right? Try it for yourself. Try it to see if you can do it. We don't know what we can do until we bloody well get off our asses and try it. Right?
I love that.
Every job I've ever walked into, including this one, I had no idea what I was walking into, and I went in there to find out whether I could do it or not. Never qualified.
I mean, it's the same thing with us. When we started this with nothing. It was just, you know, it was just us, me, Ruby, and a group of us. And once everybody fell off, we picked up the pieces and kept it going, and it's still going. Yeah, it's going to continue to go.
Right, and you're speaking to the people who relate. I mean, that's why we do it, right? We talk to people, and somewhere along the line, again, as I said, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You know, what your demographics are, what your color is, what your religion is, what your sexuality is. That's got nothing to do with it, because the relatability is in the experience of life, of what's going on around you and within you and on you. And it's when we relate to someone, we hear them. Oh, that happened to you? That's happening to you? How did you manage it? I'm learning something here, or I'm inspired, right? Or I don't feel alone because somebody else is going through it. And that's why honest sharing is important.
Yeah,
indeed.
We love it. And thank you. If anyone is on watching this right now and wants to rock with Motherhood, Sex, and Marijuana, hit us up. We'd love to have a conversation. This has been way more than I had bargained for. I feel so filled with just good energy.
A little different to what you're normally used to, right?
Oh, no.
It's not normally what we used to, but I mean, hey,
it's amazing.
We rock with anything. Anything that rocks with us, we rock with it, right. You know?
I mean, I'm a 70s chick, and it was the time of free love. right?
Ooh,
It was the time
Lord.
of experiment. I had plenty of partners in my life. You know, that's how we expressed our love physically, right? And yeah, obviously the marijuana, rock and roll, and scotch and wine flew very freely. I used to run a mobile discotheque. And so we would play parties and play music and everybody get into the groove. And I was very much about immersing myself into life, much to the horror of a few people, like my older sister, 13 years old, who is totally a prude. You know, I was completely opposite that hippie out there, very far out for my time era. But now that is kind of, what you're talking about, far out. You are nothing compared to what it is today.
I
Right?
mean, listen, the times are different based on where we live and how we live in now. But yes,
There's always fundamentals.
everything that we've done before, what we've done, and now everything has been recycled. The life is completely recycled.
Yes.
It's just different. It's just different phases, but we all recycle the same.
Yes.
Way.
It's like what you said. Your mom would have taken a different approach to you. You didn't like that approach, so you took a different approach to your daughter. My mom said, my mom said to me, you're raising your kids the way you wanted to be raised, right? And my kids are now going to raise their children the way they wish they'd been raised, right? And that's the point. That there are patterns that are good to repeat, and there are patterns that need to be broken.
Right, exactly. Sarah, I have a question for you. How often do you masturbate?
I'm actually a very spiritual person, so I don't do it physically. I do it actually orally. I go up into a different dimension and do it there. So it's very, very different. I actually really don't belong to this plane. I have a very hard time being an earthling.
I like this. I like this.
I'm an out-of-body traveler, and an out-of-body traveler, I get my goodies because I can't get it here. So, you know, so that's my masturbation.
She said all the men and the women, everything, even the toys, none of y'all are worthy of my nut. None of y'all. That's what she just said. That's
your cosmic portal. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, you know, it's you know, it's not everybody's thing, but it certainly is mine, and I'm definitely pleasured for it. You know, for me, my energy goes out to people where I want it to go out to, and I am, you know, definitely now more monogamous, and I haven't met somebody, so I've got something in my eye now. I haven't met somebody that turns me on enough. Right. So as I said, if I want to be pleasured, all I do is I just go traveling and I get my pleasure that way. But that's the thing, is we limit ourselves to our earthly bodies or our earthly emotion. And if we can step outside of that, you know, that restriction, and understand there's so many beautiful dimensional levels of travel that you can go to, that you can experience all the wonders of the universe, you know, it opens up a whole different stratosphere.
Indeed, I like that answer. That's some hot shit right there.
I'm horny. I'm so aroused right now. Oh my God, that's some hot shit right there.
I can imagine anything happening to me on my terms, pleasure me in any way, and I don't have to rely on somebody else.
Okay, I feel
that's
you.
right.
No, I feel you, because if she ain't doing it and she ain't doing it, you gonna find a way to get it.
And it doesn't have to be the body. It says, it is, you know, come and devour my spirit. That will please my body.
Ooh, oh Lord, come and devour my spirit.
I like that. I like that.
So it's very hard to actually find a man, a human man, you know, in my kind of demographic age group that is capable of doing that. But I don't rely on that. I don't rely on that.
Who said he has to be part of the demographic?
Because
I mean, I'm not into teaching. I don't want a young'un. I really don't.
Hear that. I
did have somebody younger than me
to be sitting down writing no book for nobody. I feel her. No.
And if I find somebody that actually can, I did actually have a spiritual lover who really could physically make love to me and spiritually make love to me, and that was stratosphere. But it only lasted a while because he had a very narcissistic, a short attention span. So, but I mean, while it happened, it was fantastic because it actually did match the spiritual lovemaking, right? So it was wonderful. And I can go back and revisit that. I can go back to that wonderful feeling and get there again. But, you know, for me, my spirit. I actually have a genre called sensual expressions. Because sensuality isn't always about sex. It's about how in tuned are you sensually with life, with living life, with devouring life, with being a part of life. What are you getting out of life? And all the senses waken up. And if that doesn't make you wet, I don't know what does, right?
Word.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Word.
Ooh,
It's all in different ways. We all search for it in different ways, but I think people need to understand that there is not one size fits all.
It definitely isn't. You know what I mean? Thank goodness. Thank goodness that I got that. He out right now. Thank goodness he ain't here, because he jump in and be like, I do that for her. But what I'm saying is, he'd be like, yeah, I do that for her. But what I'm saying is,
keep him.
Okay, shit. Where he going? Stop playing. Stop playing. Where he going?
Ball and chain, right?
You know, I'm a firm
come home
believer
at
too,
That's why he know.
Oh, he doesn't even want me flirting with her. That's how much he's like.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's already pleasured. She doesn't need someone else, right?
No. To be honest, he actually told her, because first of all, Ruby likes to call me my queen. I don't have a problem with it. It's not an issue.
Right.
But you don't. But my husband, what? As soon as he heard her say one time my queen, he was like, hey, that's my queen. No. Hey, take those words out of your mouth.
Could be your princess. My queen.
I don't know who you talking about. But that's
I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, brother.
Yeah.
He was like, and she had to be like, okay, chill out. No. I don't fucking chill out. I don't fucking chill out. That's mine.
Yeah.
No worries. I respect you and I love you regardless. And worries.
But that love. What is love? You know, and as I said, love is every sense of you. Love is about life. Love is when we're actually on that higher frequency, that higher hertz and vibration of love. We can't knowingly do any harm to anyone else because it harms us. That's the true love vibration. And if we could all aspire to be in that state of love, right?
I do like that.
Be the love, exude the love, share the love, then we would actually see a much happier society out there.
Agreed.
So love is all.
Indeed. All right.
I
we
love
had a
that.
good time. This
is so nice. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Pride.
Thank you for being, like open and honest. And every parent is going to raise their child according to the way they've been brought up. They're going to live their life according to what they know. But all I ask people to be is open-minded. I hate judgment. I hate people putting people in boxes. We all are of a beautiful rainbow color, and we own that culture. We own the skin we're in, but we've got to remember the spirit and the heart and the soul that is within us, that is constantly driving us, that is constantly being our compass, constantly being our wisdom. And when we're in tune with that, we're really going to live an enriched and abundant life, no matter who we are, what we are, where we are. And that really will then enrich society on the whole. So I just ask people, please put away the boxes, put away the differences, and let's look at our commonalities. Even if they're said differently, even if they're approached slightly differently, even if they're different, look differently, it is, what's the common denominator? You guys love your children, right? You guys love love. You love to be loved. You love to share love. You love yourself, right?
And we represent ourselves no matter what.
Exactly, your truth in yourself. And that is fundamentally the core and the foundation of which to grow on and which to inspire others.
Thank you. Indeed.
So keep on thriving, right? Yes. Keep on driving everyone crazy.
As you. And the invitation is definitely extended for you to be on our show whenever you're ready. Just
let me know. I am literally booked up into March right now with 2 shows a day. So let me know, and I'd love to. Right? Just the grandma.
No.
The 67 British grandma coming to your show to shake things up.
Don't you say that about yourself, Sarah. You hot to trot, girl. I feel your spiritual energy over here. And you're
And the
sexy
fact
as fuck.
My
and this is
spiritual
a
energy is
safe-
a
and
lot
this is a
older than I
space
am, and I'm
just for
much more
you.
exuberant. So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is a safe space, and Motherhood Sex Marijuana is a safe space for you too, no matter what it
Right.
is.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, that's the reason why I decided to have you on, is because I wanted your energy, I wanted your honesty, I wanted your perspective, and I wanted your unison, because that's going to speak to the people who choose to listen. We can't make anyone listen. We can't even make anyone hear. But those that choose to listen, they're just going to be able to see life from a different point of view, and also at the same time realize how much similarity we all have, right?
Indeed. And to find out more about Motherhood Sex Marijuana, all you got to do is go to motherhoodsexmarijuana.com. Follow us on all social media. Shoot, buy our merch because we got cute merch. Let me tell you something. We got cute merch. And of course, yes, we dropping a new show every month. I mean, every week in February. So
Excellent.
For Black
definitely check
History
us
Month.
out.
Yes,
Exactly.
good. And you know, I know it might be politically wrong. I don't see people of color. I know it's your culture. I know it is from your perspective, but for me, I've always seen people heart and soul. That's what I see.
I believe that.
If I can't see the heart and soul, you could be polka dot, you could be anything. It doesn't matter. It's heart and soul. Is your heart in it? Is your soul in it? Is it something that's of service to other people? Are you being genuine to who you are? Are you there to share? So for me, you know, the life is a box of chocolates, and it doesn't which one you eat, right? Every single one of them has their own flavor and is going to excite you in a different way. It's just experience the box of chocolates.
Eat it. And for all you single ladies out there that want to eat it, let me know.
Oh my God.
You might have a few people taking you up on
Lord
that.
have mercy.
Yeah, but don't get anywhere near
inbox
Kai.
with that fuck shit though. Don't be hitting that inbox with that fuck shit. She got her own inbox.
The thing is that, you know, as long as it's love, as long as it's honest, as long as it isn't hurting anyone else, who is us to say who we should love, how we should love, or when we should
and how
love,
frequently.
or how frequently. Right. Exactly.
Indeed.
As long as it's honest and consensual, but in any form of love, it's about, don't, you know, going back to your kids, don't do it because you're pressured into do it, or social media needs to do it, or anything else. Do it because that person really does turn you on, and they not just turn you on physically, but turn you on spiritually, that they ignite that heart. It doesn't mean you're going to marry them. Doesn't mean that's it for the rest of your life, but they've got to see you and value and respect you, because nobody's touching this body unless you show some respect for me.
Indeed. We agree with that wholeheartedly.
Right? So if you teach your kids self-respect, self-value, and that doesn't just go to the kids, that goes to you as parents.
Yeah.
Self-love, self-value, self-respect. That means that is the key and the vibration that you want everyone else to treat you in. And if they can't treat you with that respect, bye-bye. Right?
Really?
Okay, so it's Motherhood, Sex,
Marijuana.
Podcast.com, and they can catch you there.
Motherhood Sex Marijuana in the building. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much, ladies. Bless you, and may the love be with you, because I'm sure it is. May it continue to reign.
Of course it is.
Until next time, folks, please don't judge things by the book. Really listen to the story. There's a lot to be learned, and you realize really love is all. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. Please tune in to our selfdiscoverymedia.com/shows, and you will see all the other genres that we have from you. Every week on Tuesday, we bring you new shows from illuminating people. If you know someone that should be interviewed, please contact us at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com. Now stay tuned for your next show.